As you can see, I just hit the road and I'm traveling. I'm in a hotel on a business trip. But let's do a quick market update anyways with some news covering NIO Stock and some surprising stuff about Huami and Tesla. So before we look at these stocks, let's first jump and look into the markets once again. And as mentioned before, I was looking for a bounce in the markets of the Nasdaq and the tech stocks and the growth stocks. And luckily, this is exactly what happened on Monday. So we're trading up right now, although it's currently losing a little bit of steam here. But as I read it right now, we see the bounce here in this area, and we should be trading higher in the coming days and weeks from here. So I think we're quite early still in this recovery here of the correction, of the recent correction. So might be still a good entry point if you're looking to add to some stocks right now. This at least is how I am reading the charts, although they're looking quite messy here. I'm apologizing for that. But glad that we got the bounce, particularly on Monday, so this is good news. Now for NIO, not much to see on the chart, but there's some interesting news. So first of all, some rumors about NIO and Huawei, and frankly, I wouldn't read too much into that. So Huawei is interested in taking a stake in the Chinese EV maker Chang'an NIO. And Chang'an NIO is one of those joint ventures that NIO has built. And well, as I mentioned, always NIO is a platform business, is an aggregator, and is part of their strategy that they want to help other OEMs to actually design and build cars and get them on the road, and also help them brand those. And in this case, they have like a 50-50 stake together with Chang'an. Well, initially, however, right now it seems like NIO is pulling out of this cooperation because it obviously didn't work out. And now it seems like Huawei may actually take the stake here from NIO and go in, because they obviously also want to aim at getting into this business of smart cars, connected cars, software development. However, if we look at the NIO stock, I think we shouldn't take this one too serious or as too important news here, although Huawei, of course, is a big player. But as I outlined in my pitch for ARK Invest, I do think that NIO has lots of software capabilities in-house, and they don't really need another company coming in here and helping with developing that. So not much effect on the NIO stock and NIO future here, I would say. What was more surprising for me to see, and it's quite interesting news here, is that NIO signed a new cooperation agreement with a company called FDM, Zhejiang Founder Motors. And this is about supplying motors for electric cars here. So I'm not 100% sure from this news release that was found because they had to publish it as a listed company here to what is the product in specific, but it could actually be a motor for the car, and it is rumored to be more efficient to what is actually in the markets. And this is quite surprising because actually NIO has their own company XPT, which is a subsidy of NIO. And remember that I interviewed actually the co-founder of NIO, Chuck Chung, who was actually also the owner of XPT. So this leaves me to think about whether or not NIO actually wants to either remove this connection to XPT, which I would find strange, because actually the history is that they were looking in the markets to get some supplies for electric motors, but couldn't find any that could supply them with high quality and really good performing motors. And as you know, NIO cars are quite well in acceleration, even as good as almost as good as some of the best Tesla cars out there. So they really invested well in actually developing their own motors here, and let them build by XPT. So it wouldn't make sense to actually leave this behind and also throw away this IP here. But why would they need a new supplier here? So the first reason could be that they actually now need maybe more capacity because they're now ramping up, and so possibly they need another supplier here to help them ramp this. The second one could be, well, that would be bad if XPT actually wasn't able to supply the motors in the quality or also the quantity that they need. Or maybe there has been also some problems with Chuck Chung and the founder, and maybe that is also why they split with NIO. I don't know that for sure. Or the third reason would actually be maybe there is a new NIO model coming that is actually using other or different motors. For instance, the NIO Eve as a fully autonomous car could actually make use of other motors here. So these are three different explanations here, and I'm not really sure which one is correct. So I'm also here in a black box. So if you have any suggestions or ideas, please let me know down in the comments. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about that. And then last but not least, some really interesting and out of the blue news about Huami with a cooperation allegedly about Tesla. So first, this was in the Chinese media that some bloggers were posting some mock-ups about Amazfit watches with Tesla cars, and rumors about a possible cooperation that Amazfit is working, or Huami is working with Tesla together in building up a smartwatch that can actually access some functionalities of Tesla cars. And this got even picked up by Western media. For instance, Clean Technica wrote an article about it, and that even got denied by Elon Musk. He tweeted about it and he said like, well, definitely not. Smartwatches and phones are yesterday's technology. Neuralinks are the future. So what can we make of that? So first of all, Huami stock definitely benefited from these rumors. As you can see today, they are almost up 6%, and from the start of this week, they gained significantly here, maybe based on those rumors. On the other hand, those rumors were based on really kind of weak and sketchy sources here, so it's no surprise to me that Elon Musk is kind of denying that. On the other hand, I wouldn't read Elon Musk's tweet as a full denial here, because well, he was kind of making jokes maybe about smart watches, because he's got a bigger mission here with Neuralink. At the same time, this doesn't say no to a possible cooperation of, accessing some functionalities of Tesla cars through Huami watches. So this may still be on the table here. And this brings me back to what the CEO and co-founder of Huami was actually tweeting on Weibo, the Chinese Twitter. First, there was a tweet which the initial rumors were looking on, because he was tweeting that at 15th of September they will start drag racing. And as we know, yesterday has been the release of the new Apple Watch and the Apple event, so lots of buzz was around smartwatches yesterday, and the rumors were referring to this date as that Huami was going to release their cooperation with Tesla. That obviously didn't happen, but there's also another tweet by the Huami CEO and an announcement about a Beyond GT Amazfit 2020 event, in which they are about to release new product lines, referring to the Apple Watch event and also some of their technologies and functionalities that they have been introducing, for instance, about measuring blood oxygen. But the interesting part is that this is going to take place at September 22nd, and this is the exact same date as the battery day from Tesla. So I'm not sure if there's going to be anything jointly released there, but the rumors are still on, definitely. And all I can say is that Amazfit GTS that I'm currently testing as part of my due diligence has some amazing battery life here. However, I wouldn't read too much into those rumors yet. I think this is nothing where you can make a trading decision upon. But at the same time, I would definitely want to take a look at what is going to happen on September 22nd. And, well, definitely Huami stock here is benefiting from those rumors and getting a little bit of traction here. In general, smartwatches are getting hot with the Apple event yesterday, and as well with those tweets about Elon Musk denying those rumors. That definitely helped for some publicity here as well. So yeah, that's it for now. As I mentioned, looking positive into the markets in general, and interesting to see what will happen about this Tesla and Huami collaboration here. So stay tuned for more content this week, and see you in the next one.